Ready?
Yeah.
Mike, you ready?
Yeah, it says you can release your video order here. I don't
Well,
know.
we're restreaming, bro. We're on all the stuff right now. This is the first time 100 Millionaires podcast is on LinkedIn, on Twitter, which I mean nobody's on Twitter anyway, so no big deal. But we're also, and is anybody on LinkedIn? But we're on Facebook and YouTube live.
Supposedly.
You ready? You ready?
Yeah.
I'm gonna get this thing started. Welcome back to the 100 Millionaires podcast. My name is Gualter Amarelo, and I get to hang out with two of my favorite guests, except one of them's not here today. Mike Shine, why don't you bring us in?
Massive income from passive income, Gualter.
And where is Mitch, man? What happened to him?
Mitch went to visit friends in New York, and so he's supposedly going to jump in and say hello.
Yeah, speaking about jumping, he's wearing a boot on his foot now because he apparently can't jump in basketball.
Dude, that's like the worst. I had that with Frisbee, ultimate Frisbee, where you land on someone else's foot, which is what happened, and he turned his ankle.
Yeah.
Like, dude, why is your foot where I'm supposed to be planting? So.
And how is it that your foot doesn't get injured, but my foot does? Like, I don't understand how that works.
Had that too with cleats, where you land on someone and dig into their foot.
Ah, look at this. We're talking shit, and now he's sitting in the waiting room.
Oh, there we go. That's
All
cool.
right, let's bring him in.
Come in.
Are you standing, Mike? I'm gonna stand.
I'm standing.
Stand on.
I'm still standing.
All right,
Is he in a
so
car? I think he said he was in a car.
he's probably in a car. If he has background noise, I'm muting him.
Right away.
Yeah. Check out the shirts. I got Generate Income. I got Real Estate Alchemist. I got Names on Deeds. On this side, I got Hot Tub Biz Plan. Mitch, you made it.
It looks like I feel like I'm at the flea market I grew up at. All the shirts there. Is this a concert? Is this after the concert?
That's right.
Buy the t-shirts.
$45 for the Names on Deeds.
Man, we don't wait for after the concert to sell you t-shirts. You can buy before, during, and after.
Exactly. I see Mike's rocking the goggles.
Yeah, I took them off. I just put them on because you're wearing yours. So
Got the shades on.
shades. Blue
I've never
blockers.
seen Mike with glasses on.
These are my blue blockers.
Oh, is it the blue blockers?
Yeah.
I got to get a pair of those. Like 100%. I got to go on Amazon and order them.
My eyes were just tired when I went to bed at night, so.
Mitch, before we talk about crypto at all, I want to jump into real estate. Why are you back in New York? What are you doing up there?
Visiting friends and family.
I thought you didn't do that. I thought all you did was make money. So your excuse to be in New York was real estate.
I mean, no, New York had nothing to do with real estate. I mean, usually I detour to Massachusetts to do some real estate stuff, which still might happen, but I got a bad wheel, so I'm not really amped up to walk around Massachusetts and deal with tenant drama.
Yeah, we were just talking about your bad foot before you jumped in. Turns out you're not very good at basketball, is our assessment.
No, it turns out 5'8" guys that think they can block my shot aren't good at basketball and need to stay away from my feet, because if I land on another 5'8" guy's foot, I'm going to end up in jail because I'm going to knock that guy out on my one good leg.
You know what's terrifying? That is exactly how much my height is. So on my driver's license, I'm 5'9" on the license, but we know. I was wearing shoes that day.
See, and that's my point, Walter. Listen, you're not going to block my shot, so stop trying.
So that's my point. Is like I have the confidence that I know I could block your shot, and then you'd end up falling on my foot.
Exactly. And then I'd look at you and be like, now you're going to make $1 million from a seated position.
Right. Like I'll just now make $1 million a different way. What to happen when you are underneath the guy who falls on you? This is a business, a course that I can create. How to block the 6-foot scaredy cat. This is step-by-step process. 12 steps.
Mitch, I was saying the same thing happened to me in Ultimate Frisbee. I went up for a disc, came down, landed on some guy's foot, and twisted my ankle. It sucks.
Yep.
That's it has nothing to
miserable.
It's
just a freak injury that unfortunately happened to me on both legs in less than like a year and a half.
So Mitch, since you're out in New York right now, spending time with friends and family, can we attack one of the limiting beliefs that people have about money, where they say
Sure.
money makes you greedy, money makes you uh, a bad person. People who have a lot of money don't care about their friends and family. How do you feel about friends and family now that you've made some money?
How do I feel about friends and family now that I made some money? I don't know,
Yeah.
exactly the same.
Okay, I guess we handled that one.
It's more about
Nothing-
how you feel. It's more how you feel about yourself in regards to like limiting beliefs. So, back in the day, especially like growing up, like broke as hell, and you know, dealing with, I guess, people I worked for that were kind of, well, assholes, that I guess, were successful. I had that connotation that basically you needed to be a dick in order to like be financially successful. So I think that slowed me down because I didn't want to be a dick. So that was a limiting belief. So it was more about, perception of self and money, as opposed to, how I look at friends and family.
It's funny. I felt the same way. I used to think that in order to be successful, I had to be like cutthroat and mean to people and aggressive. But it turns out if you just ask nicely, people do more.
Usually, but at the
Yeah.
same time, to add to that, there's that final step of, treat people well, ask nicely. But as we know, there's some people that are just going to be not good people, and they're going to try and take advantage, or, you give them an inch, they take a mile. So you still, and it's something I'm working on, you still need to have that ability to put your foot down, because sometimes being reasonable just doesn't work. Sometimes people are just going to be ridiculous, and you can't let someone run you over. And that was a clip I saw from Jordan Peterson. He was talking about that. He was just like, you have to, I'm going to come up with my own term because I don't remember his, but like, he's like, you basically need to have like savage mode. He's like, and you need to develop that, but then also be disciplined enough to only use it in the rare instance you need to. He's like, because if you don't have that mode, then the other person is always just going to run you over.
Yeah. Yeah, I have that mode. Ron and Dorina have both seen it come out, and they're terrified of it. But Ron at this point is like, okay, like that's just him doing it. And and I don't mean like savage mode on them. I mean, like I've been on the phone with a client. What is it? Say it again.
I said, plus Ron can just physically dismantle you if you wanted to.
Oh no, I've never done it with them. It's been with a agent or a wholesaler or a seller.
Well, while they were present, gotcha.
Yeah, and I call it the snap, right? Where I just snap and I get very aggressive and I move towards, hey, look, do business with me or don't. I don't care. And usually it's with people who are just disrespectful or they're rougher people. Like they're just, for whatever reason, they need that aggressive side. And as soon as the snap goes on, suddenly they're beautiful souls, right? They're just like, okay, let's play nice together.
Well, I don't agree with this whole line.
Yeah, no, I
guys-
trust me, I get it.
Well, because you specifically said when you walk into Walmart, there's nobody in Walmart because you
Oh,
only
yeah.
see successful whatever people. I don't want to put words in your mouth, but I don't I don't come in contact with these situations because I don't believe all that crap that you just said. I feel like everybody's working for me in the universe, and people are in my life because they're supposed to be there one way or the other. So there's no reason for any of this stuff. So
It could be a thing of the past. The deals, it's been deals where I never met the actual seller.
So hold on. So Mike, what you're telling me is in no shape, way, or form in your life do you ever deal with a bully.
no, you create your own reality. I mean, I'm not perfect, but that's what I'm heading for. I don't even want to discuss it.
Mitch, you got muted. I feel like you're dropping fire and you're muted at the moment.
Yeah, so I
Oh,
don't know.
there you go.
There you go. You're back.
And I'm gone. Yeah, I'm back. My phone rang.
Oh, gotcha.
Anyway, as I said, I agree with you, but you can't control 100% of what enters your life as much as you can.
Mike's
Bottom
gonna
line
be thinking
is,
about this, Mitch. I don't know.
stuff happens.
You create your own reality. You
I
create
agree with
your own
this,
reality.
but it's not foolproof. It's not 100%.
Right, because you create these things.
Right. And now you got me thinking. I'm like, is it because we create it that it exists, or wow? I have no idea now, because like I'm
It's a
certainly
hot
not afraid of a
topic.
confrontation. Like I'll handle it in a minute.
Well,
I,
maybe you want that. I don't know.
and I will admit that
There is,
there's an exciting part to
right,
that.
and there's also a guilt if it's too easy. You
I
know,
don't
Yeah.
want it.
if
I
success,
want zero drama. No, thank you. I'll pass on the confrontation and drama. I do not like ever having to put my foot down.
Yeah. I don't know what attracted it, but I can think of 4 instances where I've had to snap, and it's been over the 7 years, right? Over the 7 years I've been in this business, and that, like, those times were, and prior to those 7 years, like, I've been in real estate since 2008, but those 7 years have been personal development, right? Where I've been aware of myself. Every time it was like I was shocked that I had to do this, like blown away that this person was so unrealistic, so like, but I didn't put the person in my building. It was always a tenant. It was always a purchase and sale that I was doing. I didn't know or meet that seller, but now I was
Exactly.
face to face with them.
Exactly. I mean, I'm dealing with that now. It's like sometimes you acquire situations, you know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
like I would not have brought, like, when it comes to like your tenants, like you basically always have good tenants because when you or your property manager screens them, your process essentially has a high probability of putting in a quality tenant, as opposed to if
Correct.
you're acquiring someone else's problem. That's how you could fall in that situation without manifesting it. So,
Yeah.
I guess what I would say is that if something like that happens, then it happens. But then you don't keep talking about it, because then you're just going to keep creating more of it. And you're going to have more tenants like that and more incidents like that. And you've got a great story to tell. And you keep
well,
telling it.
obviously, I mean,
What's her
think
name?
about
Esther Hicks is huge on this. She gets people in her audience that come up, and she's like, and they want to tell a story, and she's like, really? You want to tell a story? Yeah, you're good at it, and you tell a great story, so you're choosing to just bring up more of it. I mean, this isn't about you, Mitch. I'm
so
just saying in general, you know.
can we put a bow on this with this statement? Walter kind of proved the whole like theory of it in terms of, he said in 7 years, 4 times he basically had to have, whatever that mode, so to speak. So I feel like that perfectly sums up what Jordan Peterson was saying in regards to, you need the ability to do it, but you also need to not live like that. And that's exactly what Walter basically embodied with his experience over the last 7 years. So it's not something he attracts, but once in a while stuff happens and you got to handle business. So it's not something you talk about.
So he only attracts it once in a while. That's where we're going. Okay. So
All
I
right,
don't know.
Chris.
I live with a wonderful woman who tells me all the time, you create your own reality, like every day. So
I
As long
agree
as
with that 99%.
you're not creating it at home, you're fine.
yeah. So every time I say something crappy, she's like, you create your own reality. I don't know why you want that in your life, but apparently you do. So
It's funny, when Mitch brought this topic up, I really wanted to side with Mitch. And now as we've been going down the rabbit hole, I'm like, man, like maybe I am the one who's flawed. Like maybe I have been aggressive on those days, and like I attracted that person to walk into the office that day, or whatever it was.
I don't want you to think that I've got this under control. This is my
Oh,
philosophy. I choose.
Mike, we would never accuse you of being perfect. Don't you worry, brother.
I choose this
All my
philosophy.
point, all I'm saying is I'm on board with all of it, except for, in the true investor that I am, it's a percentage, because I don't care. Like, there's no way you control absolutely everything and everything. This universe is so diverse and so complex. You can think whatever you want. You don't have 100% control, but you can put the odds highly in your favor. And that's what Mike Shine does. And that's what Walter does. And that's what I'm getting better at, because I hang out with these two knuckleheads.
I think you're right, Mitch. And to that point, and Mike, hear this one out. I think that there is going to be a randomness to the universe where certain people will be put into a situation where for a very short period of time, you do have to be extremely decisive, because that's all that savage mode is. It's like, it's an all or nothing, like, hey, I'm not going to walk away without, like, I won't cross my ethics or my morals. And I think that those moments are what define a human being, right? Those moments do have to exist. You don't have to be an aggressive, mean person, but you have to be unyielding. I think that's
Yes,
what savage
perfect
mode
word.
is
Well,
you will not yield.
Actually, for me, I attract those moments because I like to diffuse them. I mean, it's for me, it's fun. I told you last week about that attorney who was freaking out, and I was able to say, hey, I'm not a litigator because I don't choose to be this. And now at the end, we closed, and we're I wouldn't say we're friends. We're not going to call each other and have a beer, but we were very friendly and respected each other. So I love that. So I'll attract that kind of stuff all day long. But
And that I think is the fun of it, right?
Yeah.
Like, the savage mode has to exist. You have to be able to get out of those situations. But if you can turn them into something beneficial, like, that's
Yeah.
a freaking masterpiece. Like, if you can have somebody who's frustrated and upset and then turn them around and they're like, hey, thank you, you handled that really well.
Yeah.
Like, that's beast mode, right? Like,
Yeah,
that's
you-
really,
Yes,
You've
that's
done
probably a
that.
better term. Beast mode. Savage
Yeah.
seems so aggressive.
I see Gualter do it. I was in a call one time, and I just what the person was selling, I just wasn't buying, and I was getting completely aggravated. And then Gualter just sort of positively said, on the one hand, I'm not interested, but on two, I respect what you're selling. Basically, it was awesome. It was like a Jedi mind trick.
thank
Really
you
good
for
response.
sharing. We are no longer interested.
But we do like you as a human being, and go forth and multiply.
Nice, good response.
Yeah, it was awesome.
I remember that
It's
call.
a positive no.
Yeah, it's a positive no. You got to be, especially with an aggressive salesperson, you got to know how to get free your time back up, right? Get out of there and save your day. But keep the relationship. You never know how valuable that person could be.
And the dichotomy was amazing because I was the one who was just freaking out in my head on the other line. Like, and then it was great. It was a great lesson. It was awesome. Yeah.
What, Gualter, you'd mentioned something about crypto earlier. I'm gonna dip off in a minute. So, did you have something specific about crypto you wanted to talk about?
Yeah, me and Mike were talking about a fail I made last night. So Mike pointed out that BNB was down today, but it's come back up. And I saw it last night. It was like 240, 248 or 253 BNB Binance coin. And I was thinking about selling a little bit of Cub to pick some up. And I just held the Cub in the den. I figured I'd wait till the morning, and it's already on the recovery. So not really worth that little transaction. But,
yeah, I mean, and Binance Coin actually had relative strength because it didn't really pull back relative to the other coins. In fact, if you look at it, it's got relative strength overall over the last few months. A lot of the alts sold off pretty hard. Obviously, Bitcoin's down, Ethereum's down, not as much, but Binance Coin's held up really well. And I actually was thinking about possibly doing the same, add more exposure to it just because it has relative strength. I actually did make a couple moves. I bought more Rune and more Matic, and they've bounced a little bit, but I'm probably going to hold those to stake. But yeah.
Binance, Binance, at the high, what were you holding? It was over 400, right?
It was over 600 at the high.
600. And recently it was down as low as 250, I think it was.
240, 250.
Yeah, I think it was 235 last night.
But you're saying relative to all the other ones, that's not a bad drop?
If you look at, I'm just looking at the price chart. When I looked at the price charts this morning and last night, it hasn't given back as much of the bull move as most of the other coins have. So that's why I say it is relative strength. It's not giving up as much relative to a lot of the other alts, and probably even Ethereum.
Yeah, Ethereum's slipping a lot.
Ethereum's literally 400 points away from giving back the entire bull run. And this is what I'm trying to tell people. I'm like, guys, do you realize most altcoins have already given back 90% of the bull run? I was like, so yeah, this might not be a repeat of 2018, but the charts are looking very similar. And if we get one more sell-off, the charts look identical.
That's when we're all going to mortgage the house, right?
That's it.
Yes. Well, and that's so. And my parting words with that's going to be, and I did, Walter, I did a TikTok on it last night, which is funny because Bitcoins don't seem to get much traction. But I talked about like everyone's freaking out because Bitcoin's under 30K. I'm like, but I'm not freaking out yet because I need to see a closing candle at 28,000 or less, and then to me that's a true bear signal because now we've broken all those intraday spikes through 30K. And now we're exposed to going down to like 23, 24. And then sure enough, what happened? Bitcoin's back up at 31. So, I mean, they're testing that level like something fierce. I still can't believe that it's holding based on how many times it's bounced off of it. I wouldn't be surprised if we get a little follow through on today's bounce and then maybe sell off after that. That's usually a move where like you think it's like, all right, this is happening right now. Like we're selling off. This is going to be the time to get an aggressive dip to buy, and then you'll get like this bounce and then kind of make everyone relax again, and then all of a sudden it sells off. I'm guessing just on price movement. But yeah, you know me, as far as Bitcoin, I'm not buying again until I see 23K. And then 18K is kind of the ultimate low. That would be a full round trip of like the entire move. I'm hoping we don't see that though, because that means we essentially are no longer in a bull market.
Man,
Yeah,
I would love to see a full round trip.
So today, Kathy Wood, Jack from Square, and Elon Musk are speaking at the B Word conference today. So that might be your bump today, because they're speaking today.
Yeah.
The three of them, and that might be your bump.
That might be the catalyst to give us our bump. So
yeah.
Anyway, all that charting stuff and prices I just yelled out, not financial advice.
Nicely done. Not financial advice.
Right.
This is just stuff we do in our own personal portfolios. Portfolios. Fuck.
Portfolios, yes. And then plus, I mean, I don't know about you. Actually, I do know about you too. We're buying low so we can just stake more of it. Stake.
Truth. I got closing coming up. I'm hoping we just signed another freaking extension. So it's either this week or next week.
Why does that keep happening on this deal? What is the issue?
Because they wanted renovations done before they closed. It's a VA loan. So I got to do everything perfect and,
VA requirements.
Ballet and shit. But
yeah, well, I'm in the same boat. My Pennsylvania property got delayed 2 weeks. So I thought I had cash coming to me next week, and I'm gonna have to wait probably 3 more weeks now.
Yeah, the crazy part is I'm getting tempted to just take it off contract and put it back on the market because
higher, right?
The market is higher. Well, hey, I did all these renovations. Let's go get more money.
It's tempting. I did that last summer with the flip house that Darina had listed for us. Yep. We gave them one extension and then literally gave them a second. And I looked at Tim and I was like, dude, if they don't meet this one, I'm like, we're not extending again. I was like, just at that point we had figured out we could get like 20 grand more for the house. I'm like, at this point, I want them not to meet the extension. So
that's exactly where I'm at. Bring me the 20 grand. I'm okay with it.
Well, and plus that's like Murphy's Law. I'm like, all right, I don't care if this deal closes, and then boom, it closes.
Yeah.
We have
difference.
We have on our new deal with Ken, we signed a contract, and our seller is just hoping we don't complete because we got it for 2.55 million. And he has offers for 3 million now. Cash.
I was working with one of the students I'm working with. I was talking about that. I didn't bring up you particular, but I was talking about your deal. I was like, yeah. I was like, my buddy, I know the seller's praying that they can't close on this deal because.
Yeah. So
for everybody who's listening who thinks there aren't deals out there, Ron and I just submitted an offer. Thanks to Darina and Ace, both really key members of our. By the way, Ace was actually in your mentorship program for a while, right, Mitch?
Yeah,
one of your students as well.
Students, and I actually even went and looked at some properties with him and almost partnered up with him on a deal.
So he sent us a deal that was a little over his head. It required a $300,000 down payment last night. And I'm sitting there with Darina and she's like, what should I do? And I was like, put the freaking offer in. That thing is money, right? This is like it might not be a great deal for him, but this is a full home run for us.
Wow.
It's not a lot of units. It's not what I'd like a lot more units, but it's a 9 unit and we're looking at 700,000, half of it's seller financing, and I just got to bring the cash. So
Nice job. What town? Tampa?
Tampa,
Nice.
Seminole Heights, right where I want to be.
That's awesome, dude.
That's awesome.
And that's an example. So one, congrats. And two, that's a clear example of, power of having a network. You know what I mean? Like a year ago, that deal's not happening. Ace came into the community, about a year ago, not even. And, he's hustling, and when he sees stuff, especially in the area you're in, he'll share, send it out. So that's awesome, dude. Yeah. Hopefully you guys close on that. That's awesome.
Yeah, totally agree. We've been looking at, all the opportunities that are coming up right now are because of the Alchemist Nation. I was thinking about that the other day.
It's so true.
I have one out in Haverhill, and that's because of Gualter's group. Ken is directly from Alchemist. Yeah, so it's awesome. So
Guys,
your network is your net worth.
Ron and I said this when COVID hit. Actually, it was a little before COVID hit, when the market started tightening up on real estate prices. We said, man, this is getting tough to buy stuff. What should we do? What if we can't buy something for the next year? What should we be doing? If we can't buy something for the next 2 years, if we're at the height of the market and we need to wait for it to deflate, what is the best thing for us to do? And I was like, we just need a network then, so that when the market does drop, we have access to all the deals. So we could just spread out and create a really good network. And that's where the training company came in, because how do you build a great network that's loyal and wants to send you business or invest with you? Is teach them, train them, educate them. And so that's where the training company came from. That's why we brought it back to life, because it was a dead company. It was Agent Alchemist, and we brought it back to life.
Oh, I also forgot, we also have the meeting we had yesterday. Patrick Sullivan, to talk about sober homes, is also from the Alchemist Nation. It's awesome.
Yes. We wouldn't be doing the sober homes if it wasn't for me going out and speaking in Connecticut, right? Those little opportunities that it's damn, I don't want to drive 2 hours to go do this, but okay, I'll do it. Suddenly you meet people, you don't know who's going to be at those events.
Yeah.
Awesome. It's awesome. He's Patrick's a character, by the way.
He is.
Yes, he is.
I remembered him by the Rubik's Cube.
He had this weird license plate name. It was some name. It has nothing to do with Patrick or Sullivan or any of that stuff. I'm like, what's your license plate? On his Tesla Model S, by the way.
Of course.
And I guess he was a professional gamer.
Yep.
And he had a name, and that's the name on his license plate. So I didn't know that.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's cool.
I believe every second, every minute of that. That sounds like Patrick, 100%.
100%. In fact,
the irony is we're all in Gualter's neck of the wood. Ken's like, we're helping the city of Fall River. I'm like, what? That's supposed to be Gualter, not us.
No, you see what Gualter did? Before he left Fall River, he molded a little army to improve the city for him. You got Jedi mindsets.
That was the plan. When I was living in Vegas, I was asking God, I was asking the universe, how do I change the city? How do I make it better? And it just hit me like a lightning bolt. I started writing for a couple of hours. The next day I turned in my lease and I got on the road. And the answer was build a community that is based on improvement, build entrepreneurs. If I build a community of entrepreneurs and investment based on improvement, then they'll all a city needs is business. If you can create business and have investors who are working together, you've got a unstoppable force. And so
he's got the Alchemist Army.
That's and then Alchemist Nation.
And then move to Tampa.
Well, hey man, I did my work. When you set up the dominoes, you don't have to stick around to push the domino down, right?
The irony is I had no idea I was helping. Ken found a good deal. I wasn't really. And then he posted on Facebook, we're helping. I'm like, oh, okay, I guess so.
That's awesome.
As long as I don't have to fix a toilet at 3 a.m, I'm good.
Mike, thank you for your service. I appreciate you, brother. Making the city a better place.
Hey, listen, the beauty is if anyone wants to, hang out with the Alchemist Army, Alchemist Nation, great excuse to come take a vacation in Orlando, October 22nd, 100 Millionaires.
Oh,
We're gonna
nice.
be
Look
there.
at that.
You get to see the three of us in person and some other big heavy hitters.
Right?
Good old Doug McGurk, Terry Wager,
Shit.
Mitch
It's
Durfee,
Durfee. Yep.
I just remember
Eddie
going to
Rain.
see Terry
The
tonight.
list continues, and you can do all this networking in 3 days in one room because Evan will be there. You don't even have to go around the country. So people should come see us in Orlando. That's my final word. I'm gonna let you guys finish up. I'm gonna go back to riding here. I'm in the car with Tim's dad, my partner Tim.
Hey, Tim's
Where's
dad.
Tim?
Tim's in Massachusetts taking care of our property.
Oh, well, you hang out with Tim's dad then. You tell him we said hi.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hola.
You can hear me. So cool. Always a pleasure, fellas, and I
Right.
will see you very soon.
Cheers,
Nice.
Mitch. Thanks for jumping in
man.
with us, brother. Nice
Always
job
work
on the 100 Millionaire Summit. That was Doreen's gonna be so proud of you.
Always work with the best.
I always work with the best. So speaking of the 100
From time to
Millionaire
time,
Summit,
make some good moves.
100 Millionaire Summit, go to ibuildmillionaires.com/summit. Register today to hang out with the 100 millionaires.
Nice. That was
Yeah,
an
that was-
awesome impromptu commercial. That was
I'm
great.
telling you, Mitch nailed
Yeah.
that. That was good.
Yeah, it was really good. So,
Now
yeah.
it's just us, just like the original podcast. Remember when it
So
was
what?
just me and you?
So tell me about your 9-unit. Like, what kind of
So-
property is it?
It is a typical Florida property. It's nothing like what we buy in New England. It's got no basements, just a couple of buildings all together. Looks
Nice.
like there's
Is it
termites
more than
involved.
one floor, or is it?
It is not more than one floor. It's all
Sounds like mine.
yeah.
It's just
I'm
kinda like-
looking at it, I'm like, I don't know about this. I've bought way better.
Yeah. I keep saying, that's what I keep saying. Whenever I tell anybody about the deal in Bradenton, I'm like,
Yeah.
We wouldn't live there, but it's a good investment.
That's the interesting thing. And then Ken Hoffman brought me another one, very similar.
Oh, nice.
Very similar numbers.
Yeah.
Little more expensive, but I told him the same number. I was like, look, go back at 400,000. Like, let's just do it. This other one I'm
That's
doing
cool.
with this other one I'm doing a lot more. I'm spending a little more money on it, but
Nice.
you just go by the numbers, right? Like NOI is about, it looks like about 3,600 a month. So actually NOI was about 3,600 a month. So I'm okay with a 350 or a $400,000 offer, but more than that, like let somebody else choke on it, like their problem,
Yeah. So that's what you're saying, that the actual price is like 350, 400?
Well, they want 800,000 for it, but we'll see.
Oh, I think, okay, I gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I mean, at this point, I really don't care what they want for it. The deals are coming through. We're getting deals that are good for us. So we just keep putting our offers in.
Yeah.
And a deal fell apart. They had an offer 800. It fell apart. So I'm not concerned, right? There's something wrong with the building. I know that.
Yeah.
That's why they're coming
Something
in.
wrong. Yeah. That's funny. We're talking with ours that if you get it for 2.5, you can just flip it for 3 right away.
That's the money, and that's why I want to buy them this way, right? I want to continue buying in a way where if I had to, I could get rid of it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's kind of exciting. Yeah, a lot of opportunities coming up now. And if Patrick's way works, then you get even more
Cash flow.
flow. Yeah, it's pretty amazing. Yep.
It's interesting, Mike, because there's a lot of people right now who are saying, the real estate market's not going to crash. I've been calling October. I've been calling, winter, October, November, December, January, and we're seeing more deals show up on market now. So I think it's a little early. I think this is still, pre-gaming. Like this is pre-season.
Yeah, that's what I noticed. It loosened up. There are more deals coming.
Yeah.
When 6 months ago there were not. I will say that when you're talking sober houses, Fall Rivers. I mean, unfortunately,
What are you gonna say, Mike? Where are you going with this?
I'm saying there's a lot of people who need to get sober and need some help in Fall River. So you're not going to be there's not going to be a shortage of people who could use our help.
I don't think there is, and as long as we manage it properly, which is why we brought Patrick in, I think we could put the other sober houses in the city out of business because I think they run like hell. And
Really?
yeah, they don't. The average sober house just doesn't know how to run a real business. They're not clean. They're not like you go into them and you're like, dude, I wouldn't want to live here. The ones Patrick runs, you wouldn't mind spending a night,
Nice.
like because they're clean. They look like a hotel. Like they're really, really nice. He updates them well. And that's what we're putting in.
Where did you see his? Where have
He
you
showed me
seen-
pictures. If you go to his website, which I don't know what it is, but,
Yeah.
but if you go to his website, it looks like a flip. You know, he's got like the same white moldings, the
Yeah,
gray paint. He's got all the nice furniture from hotels.
that's awesome.
His flooring is what we put in our units, like really nice.
Nice job.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he does good.
yeah. So hopefully that's the answer in the future, and then we're on our way. That's it's kind of a lot of people. Be like 100 people would go into the ones that we're looking at. So yeah.
Yeah, we're somewhere around 40 beds or 40
Yeah.
beds.
It's crazy. Isn't that
is nuts.
awesome?
Yeah, because it was like an 18-bedroom building.
Yeah.
And to put that many beds in it, it's like, all right, like as long as it's done properly, as long as you know, it's managed well,
Sprinklers and all that
which we
good stuff.
have. Yep.
Yeah. It was kind of an education to walk around with. I could only walk for like 1.5 building. And then Ken's like, where are you going? I'm like, I'm going to sit back in my car.
Done. Yeah.
This is really
Over
not- But it was interesting to hear Patrick say what he does. You know, like we open apartments with the supervisor who's there, the guy who watches the place, and it's just filled with like tons of clutter, like a typical, apartment.
Porterhouse.
And he's like, yeah, no, they don't. Most of the people that come maybe with a backpack, some with just the clothes on their back, and they don't bring furniture, they don't bring anything, and it's just an eye opener that it's like a whole, yeah. And actually, the realtor was saying that the people who want to pay more is a sober house. The listing realtor couldn't believe that it was that's what we wanted to do, because he said we had these people come from the Cape and they wanted to buy it to use it for a sober house, but you had already signed the contract, so they couldn't do it. So I'm encouraged if someone wants to pay $3 million for the same property, do the exact same thing. That's a good sign. So
The system's in place, right?
Yeah.
Like we're looking at where's the new need, where's the new requirement, and that is a space. Even the
Yeah.
1-bedrooms. Ron and I were looking at our portfolio. We've got a lot of 1,200 square foot units and 1,000 square foot units.
yeah.
And we were looking at, if we split these up, we're going to get significantly more rent out of this. Because
That's
we've
cool.
just did one recently. We just split one of our condos. We had a double unit, and we split it into 2 separate condos.
Nice.
We're getting $1,000 out of the 3-bedroom double unit. We split it up. Now we're getting $1,000 out of the 2-bedroom and $850 out of the 1-bedroom.
Nice job.
So
Nice
we nearly
job.
doubled our rent from splitting a unit, which
Yeah.
has this thing about the whole portfolio. Most of our units are 3 bedrooms. So
So you
like that,
That's
that may be a viable solution.
That's a bigger pocket solution. Brandon Turner always talks about when he sees a property that has over 1,100 square feet. I think that was the number. I used to listen to Bigger Pockets all the time. And I think he said, if he sees a 1-bedroom that's over 1,100 for the apartment, he knows he can grab another bedroom out of there and get bigger money. It's cool.
Yeah.
Cool strategy.
Yeah, I think that may be what we end up doing as the market continues to go in this direction, and finding inventory is harder. We may go back and reinvest in our existing units and split them up a little bit.
Nice. So so while we're doing that one sober house, which is, the neediest of people who need the most help, also signed a contract for a 2-unit in the Newport Middletown area.
Yep.
It's just 2 units, big money, but you do the winter rentals. There's the college in Newport Salve Regina. So you rent to the college students, and then in the summer, the weekly rentals for vacations. So that's crazy. There's no discount on this one. This is not a Gualter Amarelo. You get it for 20% off market. But when you're talking about Newport and you're talking about the demand for vacation and Airbnb, and it's pretty crazy.
Yeah, there's going to be a good ROI there. So that's the appreciation play.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? You have to, and as That's why we're in Tampa. Over time, you get to have some of those appreciation plays. And we were looking at, are we going to do it in Boston or go to the South? And I told Ron, I can't commit to Boston. There's no way I'm going to stay here another 10 years. Like, if I'm going to go to if I'm going to an appreciation market, put me in a market where it's warm.
Yeah, so that kind of goes back to my partnership thing. You know, my partner Alex, who we already own property in Newport. He personally he's about your age, but he already has like 5 or 6 properties in Newport. Not even the ones that we partner on. He's crushing it, and he understands the system. And even I don't know if he has any plans, but that's just a town that you put a manager in there and everybody wants to be in Newport for the next 50 years. I know, it's not.
Yeah, Newport it's in a cold area, right? But it's a great area. Like Newport's just created an amazing culture. There's a lot of old money that stays there and isn't going anywhere. So
I made the mistake of taking my son to the arcade on Thames Street on like the day before the 4th of July. I used to work in Newport at a gas station and had a moped, and I could fly through the traffic and all that kind of stuff.
You went with the car, huh?
I went with a car with Brenda and Jonah. Oh my God. It was like, I actually had to drop them off at the arcade on Thames Street and then go drive like a mile away to find a parking spot. And I was like, oh my God, I can't believe me, who used to live here, would ever do this.
How did I fall into this?
Yeah, it was this mistake. Yeah. So, but Newport just gets crushed in the summer. Tons of tourists. People want to live like our apartments, which are not in downtown Newport. They're up past the hospital on Broadway, heading out of Newport.
Yep.
They're pulling in like $1,500 a month rent, and they're 1 bedrooms with no parking.
Yeah, that's Newport. It's just
crazy. And like you said, it's appreciated like crazy. I mean, this is like I was talking to Elliot the other day, and I went to lunch with him actually in Fall River again. What the fuck? What am I doing? I tried to go.
Bring you there.
Tried to go to the Sweet Rose Cafe, but it was closed on Monday. So
no, where'd you go?
The Cove.
Nice.
Nice. There's like one thing on the menu I could buy as a vegan, but Elliot was just talking about the bump. He calls it a bump, that if you just happen to get lucky and you buy and then it bumps, but this has been like a crazy bump, like because when we bought that apartment building like 2 years ago, we were charging like $1,100 rent, and now we're up to like 15, and the market is. That's not crazy. We're not being greedy at all. It's just there's so much demand. So
the demand's going to continue. They're not making less people.
Right.
There's more people out there.
Yeah. So whenever we're talking, that's basically the whole point of this podcast is real estate. Like, even though we talk about crypto, we talk about stocks and stuff, like, the real estate, like that. What are the 4 things? So we're getting the appreciation in Newport. We're getting more cash flow in Newport. We're getting the tax benefits in Newport, and somebody else is paying down our mortgage.
Amortization. Yeah. Appreciation, depreciation, amortization, and cash flow.
Nice. Straight from the coach.
And we forget this, but I said this on a video yesterday. Utility, right? Like, there's utility in that building. With the basement, we use our basements for storage. We use our basements for activities. Like, there's utility out of this
building. Oh my God! So Brenda and I have been trying to declutter our house forever, and so she had an idea, and I have this office.
We'll just move the stuff.
She did. She moved it, and then they were going to have like a yard sale before COVID hit. And then they never had the yard sale, but it's fine because I never think about my office basement ever. So all that stuff is now out of the house, and so it's one step closer to being donated to somebody who actually would use it, that kind of thing. So
there's a lot of stuff with real estate that like the other asset classes just don't have. And like, even when when we built the real estate office, the brokerage, like it was like, hey, just throw it in that vacant unit that we can't rent out. All right, there you go.
Here's my example. Another one is we have a small dumpster here at my office.
Right.
I had a tenant who was doing something at his house, and we're like, just take. I think he was ripping up the rug or whatever. So just take it over to the office and throw it in the dumpster. It's like, boom.
Right.
It was great. Yeah, all the time.
Yeah, there's a lot of benefits to real estate. I mean, you can't beat it right now. And then the other one that you can have on it that the other asset classes don't have is debt. You know, you have the ability to leverage way beyond what you put in. Like you're talking a 93% leverage point or a 75% leverage point. Whereas if you put in crypto, like they'll let you take out 50% leverage, right?
Yeah.
You can leverage half.
I've got a deal right now where we're going to put in no money.
Yeah.
We've got a private lender, and then the seller agreed to take back a note as a second. So no money. Talk about that infinite leverage. How do you like that?
It's perfect.
Yeah.
Right? Like
that's
what's possible in real estate.
I'm not trying to say this to brag, because my deals that I've talked about, I've always had to leave money in. So you'll watch Bigger Pockets and you're like, I'm going to do a burr and I'm going to crush it. I'm going to have no money left in the deal. And every freaking deal.
Every Mike Shine deal's like, nope, still got money in there.
Yeah, 30%. 30% in this one, 25% in this one, 30%. You know, like even the Newport one had to put in each of us like 90 grand. And we tried to refinance now like everybody else is doing. And our bank, which is a very old and conservative bank, was like, yeah, you can refi. The prepayment penalty is $115,000. Like,
we just checked. Our prepayment penalty is $412,000.
Right.
Yeah, like, pass.
Yeah. So then we said, well, what happens if we refi with you, old conservative bank? And they're like, all right, we'll let you do that, but it's going to cost you $15,000. So I was kind of like, you know what? Yeah. Like I said a second ago, we are ratcheting down this mortgage because we've owned the property for over 2 years now. So it's actually starting to see like the lower, and the interest rate is not crazy. It's like 5.1%. So it's not. Yeah.
Ken just told me he's getting 2.8% on his home, on his personal home.
Isn't that amazing? Yeah.
And I've never carried a mortgage that low. I don't know that I've ever carried a mortgage under 4.5. Oh no, I had one at 3.85. And I thought that was insane.
Well, you know, in the past, it used to be like, investment property was like 8%, 9%. And you were like, oh yeah, that's more expensive. We just got one where they're giving us on a mixed use. I have it's got an apartment upstairs and an office downstairs, and they're giving us 3.75%.
It's nuts.
Non-owner occupied. So it's crazy.
Yeah, what we can do now as investors, like we're buying houses with 4%, 5% interest on commercial stuff.
Right.
It's unreal. Like if you don't think a crash is coming, if you don't think a correction is coming, you are out of your damn mind. Like we're going to be fine, Mike. We cash flow. Like it's not going to affect us.
Yeah.
But this is unsustainable. The lenders are, and everybody tells me, oh, the lenders aren't giving out money like that. Like, I don't think you understand. They are, right? Like I can buy stuff with no money and it's been working.
Yeah, it's crazy. They don't, in 2008 when they had all those no doc, and if you had a pulse and that movie, the Big Short,
they have those.
All those. Although I will say that whenever we do a deal now, they're asking for 3 years of income tax, 3 years of personal, 3 years of business.
That's on the commercial side.
Yeah.
So that's on the commercial side. The commercial side's a little tougher right now, but on the residential side, I can buy anything. I can buy 10 houses tomorrow. I just got to put them under agreement and lock it down. And And they'll pay for the renovations. They'll pay 100% of the renovations.
Right. That's the crazy one. I can't believe that you got 100% renovation.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
like, this is, I mean, the market's shifted. It's not exactly like what it was, and the regulations are different. So like on commercial, they're ratcheted down on us. Like they're really tight.
Yeah.
But on the residential side, man, it's like, this is insane. Like this is absolutely nuts what they're able to do and allowing people to do.
Yeah. We had one, we're back to that thing. I had this like 6 months ago. We have a bank that's offering 3.25%, 1 to 4 family, non-owner occupied.
Right.
3.25, a non-owner occupied. It's just
nuts.
That's crazy. I'll take it.
Yeah, we'd be foolish not to. And as long as we know we can do the deal, we can cash flow, like we're gonna be fine. And that's the thing for everybody who's listening is you've got to cash flow in this market. If you're putting offers in based on appreciation,
that's a huge mistake.
That is what happened with crypto.
I don't even consider that. Like if somebody gives me a deal, I actually don't do what you do is smart, but I usually just move on from the deal. Like you said, oh, 800,000, that doesn't make sense. And you make an offer 400. I usually just by habit, just say, oh, it doesn't cash flow. Forget it. We're not doing that. So.
Yeah. I look at their asking offer as a miscommunication. I just want to clarify. Hey, this is what I think it's worth, right?
Yeah.
Are we in the ballpark?
So Dorina put that offer in for you, the 400 on the 800?
Yeah, she's good.
Now, does she do it in writing or does she just have the other realtor say, go fuck yourself?
No, she actually did it in writing. She wrote it up. She sent it over.
Nice. YOLO.
YOLO. Yeah. Like the way I see it is if it gets accepted, I'm happy.
Right. If you get 1 out of 10 of those, you live in the dream. That's awesome.
Man, 1 out of 20, 1 out of 100 of those would still be good. We just put in enough offers to make it worth it. And any offer that takes off, it's like, man, like I'll do that deal all day.
Yeah, because even the one that we got in Bradenton we certainly didn't pay half price for it, and we expect to double our money by next year, just fixing it up. So you would like quadruple your money. That would be amazing.
It would be a lot like the condos.
You would have food. Yeah, lots of food for the 52 wealth principles every Saturday at 10 a.m.
That's right. Go to ibuildmillionaires.com and register today.
Hey, I had a friend of mine who's like a musician, and he sent me a song on SoundCloud. And then I was thinking about, aren't we on SoundCloud?
We're on SoundCloud.
Yeah.
And they can write a review on iTunes.
I didn't even know what SoundCloud was, but when I was in India 100 years ago, we recorded us. I was in a band.
How old are you?
Yeah. I was a backup singer for 1 year with this band. So we put
in a band.
Yeah, I know you're a bass player. I'm actually going to talk to someone about singing again because it's really my dream to do that. So I got to figure it out. So yeah,
I'll play bass.
All right, cool. Cool. Yeah. So, but he put it on there and I just signed up, username. And then I was looking for you and Doug McGurk and other people on SoundCloud. So it's cool. It's cool.
Yeah, we're on there, man. 100 Millionaires.
Yeah.
On SoundCloud.
I think I signed it. SoundCloud. Yeah. Where else are we, Gualter?
All over the place. We're syndicated across 14 different podcast channels.
That's so awesome. That was so funny. You said that about me, like that we started doing this podcast just so we could talk and have fun. I don't know if you're watching this, you might not know that Gualter doesn't let you call him. He's too busy. He says text. So I wanted to talk to Gualter. I had to start a podcast. Then he got Mitch in, so that's awesome. So the three of us get to talk every week. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's truth. Mike, I've gotten to the point where I'm like, don't even text me anymore. Like don't text me, don't call me, right? Like if it's important, go through Dorina. If it's got to be important enough because I'm doing what I enjoy. I like talking to you and Mitch, which is why we've got this podcast. And I like the 52 Weeks to Wealth. Yeah. And
what's funny, it's a brilliant move because I'm on the outside looking in and I'm like, like I had that realtor friend of mine who has realtors, and I'm like, now I have to do all the thinking. So I'm like, I don't really want to text. That doesn't really work. So how do I get it so these two meet each other? And then, it's kind of it's its own filtration process.
That's
So
the truth. Bring them
yeah,
to an event. Hey,
yeah,
go to the Wednesday events for realtors,
yeah.
and if
Or in
they
this
show
case,
up,
because he's like a big shot, we said, well, we'll just talk to him on Zoom, but
right? Yeah,
hashtag worth it. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Like in that situation, it's a unique situation. I got asked yesterday by one of my friends in Worcester. He's a broker, has almost 100 agents under him, and
Yeah.
he just personal requests like, hey, could you do a call with this agent? Social media, like they're going through some stuff. I'm like, yeah, for like really high level stuff, like if somebody who I have a relationship with asks me to do something, I'll do it. But like somebody just messaging me, man, like I don't have time, right? I have
Yeah.
I have the time, but I'm doing like rich person stuff. I'm researching my next thing. Like I'm
Talking to
on a
Steve
podcast with
Sims.
Mike.
Talking to Steve Sims about
Yeah.
doing
Like
stuff with billionaires. It's so
I'm reaching up. I'm reaching up to go have conversations with the next level, and so I can
right.
create this content and
So
deliver.
so good. So good. Yeah. So but that was exciting because when I did ask you about him, he has like 3 or 4 realtors that he wants them to be crushing it.
Yeah.
And your response was, well, they may not be the realtors, but we'll get him to have 100 realtors that will crush it. And I was like, wow, that's an amazing vision. I went from getting like 5 guys to not just hang out and listen to music to 100 agents, crushing it all. Yeah, it's amazing. So yeah.
That's the idea, right?
Yeah.
Like that's why you talk to people who've done it before. Hey, let's think outside the box. Let's improve.
Yeah.
When I started the agency, I really only wanted 5 agents, and I thought they were all going to be killers.
Yeah.
And after I started, I was like, hold on.
They're
My
not.
coach had 300 people under him, 300 agents, and he's like, yeah, the reason I have that is because like you're one of my best agents, right? Like it's you and 10 others,
Yeah.
and
That's so awesome. And the nice thing for you is that if you have a conversation, you say, "Hey, by the way, I'm going to make it so that you have 100 agents under you, and these agents are going to crush it." Um, and then you just say, I don't know how you approach it, but I think, oh, what's that worth to you? Obviously, Gualter's coaching business is going to get a lot more money than helping 5 guys. That's awesome. So everybody wins.
I don't really open the coaching to just anybody, right? Like they got to be in the community, they got to be through the process. But
Yeah.
this unique situation, because it's a friend of yours, we'll have that conversation, and I'll see if I feel like he's the right person.
Yeah. I mean, it may not work out, but I just thought it was eye-opening to see that,
Yeah.
like you're creating value even from the first conversation. I'm not just saying that to blow smoke, but you're sitting there talking about one thing and you say, well, let's think outside the box. What are you trying to get to? And what you're trying to get to is massive income from passive income and just have checks flowing in like crazy without you having to manage these people. So, I mean, I've hung around with you long enough that I know that it's systems and it's putting people barriers, and he's like the perfect person to have barriers because he has no interest in doing any of that stuff. So yeah, cool.
We'll be able to move him quickly. And I was sitting with one of my students today, so I only take on 3 people per 6 months, and one of them last month. So last quarter, I did a really discounted one. Like last time I brought everybody on, it was discounted.
Yeah.
This
How
time
long does it last, by the way? What was
6
that?
months.
6 months? Okay.
So I bring them in for 6 months, and it's every week. We meet for 30 minutes and we go through, and the idea is double their net worth, double their income. So it's people who are at a higher level. Like they're at that level where it's like getting to be a little bit more work.
Right.
And each one of them is asked to renew. And I told him, I was like, look, like I'm renewing, but it's double what it was. If that doesn't make sense for you, I understand. And each one of them has told me, no, that makes sense because, and
Yeah.
I told them the way I did the math. I was like, look, if I can make you 10 times more this year, on addition to what you are already on trajectory to do, tell me what you're on trajectory to do, and I'll go and I'll create this 10x of what my fee is that worth it? And, it's like, yeah, of
Nice.
course it is. Right.
Yeah, that's reminds me of Jen Sincero. She said that she had a coach who said, go within this week, you have to sell 3 of your programs. She was doing like a writer's program. I think it was called Write Your Damn Book. And so she just said it, and she said, well, how much do you think you can make in a week? And she's like, $5,000. And so, of course, her coach said, ratchet that up to 15,000, like 3x it, whatever. And so she went to this guy, and it was one of those universe stories, because as soon as she hung up the phone rang. A student of hers who she hadn't spoken to over a year was saying, how much do you charge? And I think her number was like, she said she just went for it, and she said $100,000. And he immediately says, I'm in. So it's like the same story. So she said that, and she said that because she had charged such hair-raising price, that she worked her ass off, and he worked his ass off, and ended up doing like a multi-million-dollar international deal based on it, because when everybody's full in. So yeah, same idea.
It's funny. Me and Dorena have toyed with the idea of the $100,000 coaching program, and I told her, I was like, "What would that look like? Like, what would $100,000 coaching program look like?"
Is that you coaching or you coaching?
Me coaching. Me,
yeah, okay,
me
not
literally
you going,
one-on-one.
Not you going to meet with Tony Robbins.
No, exactly. So it'd be me one-on-one every week for 30 minutes. And I told her, I was like, if I could bring somebody in $1 million, shit, $100,000 would be no big deal.
Worth
Which
it,
means
yeah,
we got to go buy a $5 million portfolio for $4 million. No brainer. Like, I could do that.
Yeah, gotcha.
And I could work somebody through that process, and we could do it with no money if we had to. So I know that program exists. I've just not been asked to do it. Like, nobody's come to me and asked me to do it. So I'm not gonna sell it yet.
Yeah, I will say that all 3 of the people in your coaching program are my friends. So I'm not, but doubling what the price is now is too cheap. But I get that they're your beta and you're helping them, because
they're also my friends.
Right, exactly. And one of them's my partner. So
yeah,
cut the crap. Anyways, but I think that the value, I said even from the beginning, should have been 25,000.
Yeah, and that's what I've always said it is. It is 25. But these are rock stars. For me.
Yeah, they're also going to be great stories, because I already know with Ken that we're already ripping the face off of that. He's going to be because my goal is to make him a millionaire, and Brenda is really behind it, and we know family and kids, and it's awesome. Because I stole that from you. I always have this thing. I don't have my why, whenever they say, like, what is your why? So basically I hang around with the Alchemist because I love the 100 millionaire goal of making 100 millionaires. And then you said that your goal was to turn Ron into it. And so when I met Ken, I needed someone, to do the numbers and stuff like that. But at the same time, I was like, wow, I could do the same thing. We could easily. I think Ken could do it himself. It would just take longer, but
that's all we're talking about. Like, anybody can get there. Anybody can make $1 million. Anybody can become a millionaire. But working with us, we just do it faster. We'll just get there faster. Like, there is a point to speed. The faster you get there, the longer you have it. And the first million's a bitch, but the next million is inevitable. Like, once you get there, you're like, I can do this again and again and again.
So how do you like that? Him manifesting the universe. So he manifests you as an amazing coach at a discounted price, right? He manifested that, because this is what we started talking about with Mitch. Mitch is a little more stubborn. It's that New York, New Jersey attitude. But anyway, but then on the other is that he manifested me, and we're perfect partners for each other on that one, because I manifested him too. I'm not, so it's go out and get it. So.
This is all about helping people. And for anybody who is listening and is like, oh my God, like, they charge for coaching, like, when you get to my level, you coach for free. You go ahead and you coach free. See how long you keep your sanity.
Yeah, and from my perspective, I don't charge anything, but
Right.
I do. We have an arrangement where I'm making money from it, so you
Of
can either
course.
pay a coach or you can get a partner who's not going to do all the stuff that Ken does in Fall River. We understand that. Like when I walked out one of the buildings, I'm like, I'm done looking at these buildings. He doesn't have a problem. He's taking Patrick and looking at the rest of them because it's
And that's one of those things like we've set up with some of our other partners, like Mike Gabriel, like Stephanie, or Crystal
Crystal. Yeah,
Dixon, or Jen Sullivan. Like with our partners, we're like, hey, come to our trainings for free. Like we're making our money on the other end. We're going to build something
right.
amazing together, and you'll be
Exactly.
a millionaire. We'll add another million to our net worth. Like there's all sorts of ways to do it. It's just come with something, right? Come with motivation, come with a drive, come with a desire. Like we'll get you there. You
Yeah.
just got to show up.
And
Show up and then do it.
in Ken's situation, it works all around because he makes money, I make money, you
Yeah.
make money. And then also, since it's all part of the Alchemist universe, we constantly are talking about this in the 52 wealth principles. So when new people come on, they see that opportunities. We didn't do this like consciously, but now that I'm thinking about it, when I went to um, the millionaire, what's it called, multifamily million seminar in Boston, they get all the people up on the stage. Anybody who's got over 100 units, they give them like a plaque and they say way to go and all that kind of stuff. And we're kind of doing the same way. We are proof of concept, because like Ken went through the program, sticks with the program, and then you can see that he's ratcheting up, and within a year he'll be a millionaire. So, and that story can last forever. I mean, you still talk about Ryan McDermott all the time. I'm not taking
Yeah.
credit, but your first one.
All right. No, we're a team, Mike. We're a
Yeah.
team. You've been
I know,
there
but
with us from the beginning. So
yeah, but I mean, it's really your leadership. So, but
I'll
yeah,
take
that's
that.
just,
Thank you.
you say that, yeah, absolutely. For the next 5 years, I don't, I mean, I hang around because it's valuable. I learn things every day. It's awesome. Yeah,
That's
and it's
the
fun.
crazy
It's
part.
fun.
Iron sharpens iron, man. Like
Yeah.
I wouldn't be in some of the stocks I'm in if it was a few. And yeah, it's nuts. Like you hang around good people who want the same things, and you end up making more just because you're having conversations about the stuff you enjoy.
Yeah, like simple things. Like you sent an email because um, I was joking around with Brenda yesterday about this. You sent an email just about a payoff. So you're selling your property, and it was like this empowering email, but anybody else would have written, hey, I need the borrower's authorization so I can get a payoff. Thanks, done. Gualter's was like, hey, Megan, this is great. Thank you so much for doing this. This is powerful and we're getting it done. And I was like, I read the email and I just was like, I don't know, all pumped up after a freaking email. I was like, so that, just for that, that's really valuable. It's awesome. It's awesome. It's cool.
Yeah, that's one of the things I'm working on with Ron. His emails are pretty short, and I'm like, bro, like, come on, fluff that thing up. Let's make this an exciting email.
Oh, you know what I do? I have a
Yep.
thought and I type the email on my phone, and then I go back and I put, hi, Gualter. And then I have to like flower it up because I just want to say,
Yeah.
do this. Yeah, I'm sure Ron would appreciate my email with nothing in it better.
It's interesting. He would. Like the ones I send, he's like, that's a lot of words. It's a whole lot of words.
That's so awesome.
It's also very clear and to the point and a lot of fun.
Right, succinct. But I love either one I like. So I like yours because it's empowering, but I also like Ron's because it's like to the point and let's take care of business and we can go have sushi later.
Yeah. We'll talk over sushi. Come on now.
Yeah. We don't need
No need for these
coffee.
long flowery emails.
Exactly. So I can appreciate both of them. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's a yeah, I think there's that benefit to working with people who want the same things or going to the same level as you, like, and
Right.
you're growing and you're pulling each other up. Like once you get into this game, it really becomes a lot more fun. When
Yeah,
people ask like, how much money do you want to make? When's enough? It's like, dude, I just literally met my friends. Like we're now playing a
yeah,
game together, and we're building businesses, and we're building each other, and we're building communities. Like I don't know that I could ever stop this, because like this
right.
is way more fun than doing nothing. This is
Exactly. And then,
enjoyable.
the money part of it is, it's a scorecard.
Yeah,
It's
it's how we
like
keep
we
score.
talk about the net worth, but we don't really talk about, like, we talk about deals because deals are cool, and the connections that are made, and what the price is, and whether it's like makes sense, and that's all fun, but it's never like, oh, my wallet is this thick, and nobody cares about that.
It's like infinite frisbee, right? Like money is the frisbee. Like if you all show up to the court but nobody's got the frisbee, it's like, what are we gonna do today? We
Yeah,
can talk about the last game we played, but like we need to go get a frisbee right now.
I like your game. It's ultimate frisbee, but I like
Oh,
infinite
well,
frisbee better.
ultimate frisbee. You
If you
know what I
could
meant.
throw a frisbee all the way and it never stops, infinite frisbee.
You know what's funny, Mike? I've always struggled with that word. Like I was at the park the other day with Dorina in like Western Tampa, and we were
Nice.
at the beach, and they got this ultimate frisbee course there. And
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
calling it infinite frisbee, knowing it's wrong. Like I was like, I know it's something different, but I don't know what it is.
I'm excited. We had my son and I am coaching with another guy. We play ultimate frisbee Tuesdays and Thursday nights with North Kingstown. My
Nice.
son Noah is like 14, and I just, when they're your kid, but at a certain point they're like your friend. And so he and I, especially on the ultimate, like we get out there and we start throwing before the other people get there and just having fun. It's awesome. Yeah. So it's cool.
That's what it's about, man.
Yeah. It's
It's
not
about
always
having
about
fun
the
doing the
money.
things you love.
What's
That's right.
that thing? Right. T. Harv Eker's always like when the people say, well, money's not important. People and friends are like, since when could you not have both? Right.
Right. Like why are we like subtracting something that's necessary? Let's
Right.
just like, that's like saying I'm gonna eat, but I'm not gonna breathe the whole time. Like, are you insane? Like, what are you doing? That's
Like,
broken. Like you're literally broken if you're thinking that way.
yeah, Jen Sincero was saying that you don't hear that when people say like, I like pizza, but I like pizza, but
Hold the tomato sauce,
love and friendship is much more important. So, it doesn't make any sense. Like you could like pizza and hang out with your friends and family, right?
Mind blowing. You could eat pizza with your friends and family. Like,
Yeah, right.
whoa.
She actually pointed that out, that actually if you were rich, you had more money, you could bring more pizza to the party, or throw the party, or spend the money. So yeah, it's funny when people say that. Yeah.
Yeah.
One of those wealth files. Yeah.
And I've been the broke guy at the rich guy's house. I've been that guy, and
Yeah.
like they still loved me for who I was.
Yeah.
We hang out, we talk about what we were talking about, and
It's
I've been
awesome.
the rich guy with broke people in my house, and
Yeah.
it doesn't have like, we're still human beings who love to get along, and just because somebody's broke temporarily doesn't mean they're going to be that way the rest of their lives. And
Right.
and
Right.
hanging around rich people is going to make you want to do rich people things, right? You're going to want to build that business because now you can hang out with them more. Like it's just part of it.
I was looking at my daughter Emma loves The Police. It's always funny when they start loving music that you
Oh, the
love. She
Police?
likes the
It's
band.
like the 80s, bro. It's my
Yeah,
dad's
right.
band.
But she loves the lyrics and stuff like that. So talk about, like Sting. Obviously, he's very rich, very successful, but he was
Well,
he was an English teacher. So at some point, he did not make money. I was pointing this out because he has this song, "Don't Stand So Close to Me," about a teacher who has a student who's interested in him, and she's like half his age. And I said, that's a little sketchy that he wrote that song. I think he was a teacher. And sure enough, yeah, he was an English teacher. So he was not making any money. So don't judge people who are in your house who don't have money, because you never know. The next iteration, they may be a rock star, It's cool.
I was one of them. We were all one of them. At some
Yeah.
point, 86% of millionaires were broke. They started from nothing. So
I was a
we've all
gas
been there.
station attendant.
Yeah, I worked at Walmart, right? Like we've had our moments.
And I was a dishwasher too. I drive my family crazy now because I'm so obsessed with how the dishes are.
I got the dishes, guys. I'm a pro.
If they
None of
put
you are
them in the-
licensed like I am.
If they put them in the dishwasher, I rearrange them. It's like you're not doing that. It's funny.
You rearrange the dishwasher.
Yeah, exactly.
It's got to be done right.
Yeah, that's funny. So Brenda, smart as she is, she's like, all right, I'm never doing them again. It's yours. It's all yours.
Problem solved.
All right. I guess we got to
I know
jump
12
off.
o'clock's coming. I got appointments.
Yeah.
Well, Mike,
Cool.
why don't you take us out?
All right. For Mitch, don't forget to organize and collect.
And then for you,
And for me, massive income from passive income. Peace.
when you have a choice, always work with the best. Go to iTunes, give us a good review. 100 Millionaires podcast. Cheers to your
SoundCloud.
success.
SoundCloud. Always work with the best.
Always work with the best. Later, brother.